So my Trojan T105 batteries, this is not their voltage by the way, so don't worry. There's been a bit of a problem. The connections on them haven't been brilliant, and the circuit breaker I don't think is working properly. I don't think it was switching off when I was pressing the button to open it, so I'm going to have a look at that. I'm going to take all of the batteries out and clean them because the contacts are getting a bit corroded. So what I've done in the meantime is I've used all these LiPo batteries here. I'm using these as my off-grid battery, and I've set the voltages accordingly. So 24.8 volts across the whole pack will be about 4.1, I think it's about 4.15 per cell, which isn't ideal. That is the lowest I can get the controller to set the voltage, which is a little bit annoying. But what I've got keeping things in check is this balancer here, which I modified by putting a much larger heatsink on it. So it gets rid of the heat really well, and the transistors on it don't get near as hot as they used to. So I've just got this in balance mode just now. So there's about a kilowatt hour here, a kilowatt hour at least. So that's quite a good amount of energy, and more of that is actually usable. I only ever use about 40 or 50 amp hours out the Trojan batteries, and I actually rarely do that. Basically all the Trojan batteries do is power this inverter, the Grid T1, but they don't get cycled very much. This obviously has the potential to be extremely dangerous. I'm only doing it while I'm here to supervise it. I'll not be having this permanently. As for getting lithium batteries for the shed, I'm really struggling with that. I just cannot find it anywhere to get them. The Outlander battery sadly is no longer an option because I cannot get the guy to do a voltage measurement on it. He says he's going to get someone to do it, but it's going to cost too much, so I'm not going to buy a battery unless I know that it's got a good voltage on it. Because if it's been sitting around fully charged or fully discharged for a long time, then it's just going to have lost a bit of capacity. So I'm going to get the Trojan batteries out just now and get them cleaned. So I finally got the batteries out, and I noticed that when I shoot them up, the electrolyte was sort of kind of murky and grey, and under the caps there is, you know, they're sort of black and dirty like that. Now I'm not sure if that's normal or not. They've never been heavily cycled, so maybe it's because I've been keeping them fully charged, or maybe putting them up into the fully charged voltage per cell too many times and temperature compensate charging them, because there's a fine balance. I think you can charge them up to lower voltages and the positive plates don't corrode as much, but the battery will sulfate, or you can charge them up to the correct voltages and temperature compensate, and you'll get full capacity, and you won't get any sulfation, but the plates will corrode and you'll end up maybe like with this sort of situation. Still seem to hold voltage okay, and they seem to be working just fine. So maybe I'll reduce the charging voltage and maybe just a little bit below the recommendations. I might get more life out of them that way, but I really want to get moved over to lithium as soon as possible, because compared to lead acid, that is just absolutely awesome. But I've given everything a nice clean with a wire brush, and I've cleaned up all these as well and found a few extra, so I'm just getting all the corrosion off them, and I'm going to get all the connections redone, and it should be okay. Yeah, the electrolyte does settle out and go crystal clear eventually, but I don't know. The positive plates, I think they're okay, but I think they could be corroding a bit fast because of me charging them to the recommended voltage as well as temperature compensating too. The batteries have now been cleaned and have been reinstalled, and I'm just simply charging them using these lithium ion ones as a power source, and I'm just going to do some sort of health checks. Basically, they're not actually, these are not connected to the system anymore, they're just everything's disconnected, circuit breaker's open and the negative wire is disconnected, and just trying to show the charging current, 5.35 amps. I'm charging them just at 29.9 volts just now, which would be the voltage if the temperature was 29.9. Well, if the temperature was about 20 degrees Celsius, which it isn't. But I'm not wanting to take the voltage all that much, because I think it's just going to accelerate corrosion of the plates, and it's just quite bad for the batteries to do that, I think. Well, it's not bad for them, but I think if I just reduce the voltage a bit, it could help them last longer.